Okay, so this tutorial is going to set up you guys for Journal 3. What I'm going to do, you guys are creating a stencil or a pledge for a pledge that you guys are going to be making against design decisions you're not going to do. The idea here is that you guys are going to get a sense of what's going to come, get laser cut out and fall out when you guys actually spray paint the stencil. So for my pledge, I'm pledging that I will never combine plaid and paisley in any attire that I'm going to wear. And so for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create I'm going to hit Control R to turn on my rulers, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw on some quick guides so we can show you guys how to do that. Alright, we'll pull that down. So you hit Control R, you just drag and pull those out. Okay, and if you want to toggle this on, if you hold Control and hit semicolon, you can toggle this on and off. If you want to turn on the grid, if you hit Control apostrophe, you can turn on the grid as well. Okay, and so now I'm going to use the text tool, and I'm just going to draw this in here, and I'm going to be able to just say, I will never say. Alright, so let's scale this up. I will never use paisley and plaid in the same composition. Let's go like that. Alright, and so now we can come in here and you guys can pick whatever font you want. I suggest not doing that. Papyrus is, that's another pledge that you guys can make. Don't ever use that font, it's terrible. But if we go in through here, the idea here is that you guys can find a font that you guys think would be appropriate. There's another one, Comic Sans, that you guys can avoid using for the rest of your life. So we'll go to Window, we'll turn on the type, and turn on the paragraph tools here, and we're going to go full justify this. And I'm going to turn off the hyphenate tool so we don't have any of that stuff in there. Again, we don't want to be using that ever. There's pretty much never a good time for a hyphen in the middle of a one-sentence graphic design presentation. And then we can come in here, we can start to adjust the character. So if we go, let's say maybe, that's still pretty small, so let's just go to like 150. Still, now we're getting a little bit too big, so maybe 100. Let me just toggle this back. Okay. And then we can come over here and adjust the spacing for these characters. Yeah. Go to 200. Let's just go to 400. So yeah, there we go. So I will never use paisley and plaid in the same composition. Alright. And actually, if you look at this, if we were to laser cut this out, and I'll show you in a second here, if we zoom in, so we have all of our characters in here. For this, what we're going to do, if we select the text now and just hit invert, this is going to turn this into a line diagram here. So a diagram, it's just going to turn it into a set of lines. And so we come over here, then we can drop the line weight down to 0.01 and prepare this for laser cutting. Okay. So if you guys are working directly on the machines, you can literally just hit print at this point, and it will print this out. And you'll be able to laser cut this, and you can use this as the stencil for your spray paint exercise here. And the problem with this is kind of lame, and the idea here is if we were to laser cut this out and not plan for this, the center of our A is going to fall out, the center of our D is going to fall out, the center of our P, and so we can start to understand exactly how the laser cutter is going to work as a machine when you guys are creating a stencil, so you can plan for this. Also, when we think about delivering a stencil, like this text is actually pretty thin, and so it's probably not going to be the best font for us to actually use when we go through this. And so I encourage you guys to explore and use a sort of heavy-handed font. Let's see if we can find one. There we go. It's a pretty ugly font altogether as well, but essentially what we'll get is we'll get a much nicer result when you go to use this to actually use it in the as a stencil here. Alright, and so then once you guys do that, what you guys are going to also do is, since this is on 11 by 17, you guys are going to also be creating a pledge. So when you create a pledge, it's a contract of sorts. We're going to create a Justin Headley, and we can turn off some other stuff here. Let's just center that. So for your pledge, you guys will be required to sign this. So what you can do is you guys will type this up. If I hit object, we can just hide this. You'll print this out, and then you'll actually use and spray paint the stencil onto here, so that when you laser cut the stencil, you should be able to produce this. So you can move this wherever you guys want. If you guys wanted to add graphics, say if I came over here and wanted to incorporate these guys, and I'm just going to give credit to the guys who are hosting the website here. There you go. That's for the plaid, that's for the paisley. So we drop these in here. Now you can use the smart snaps to start to snap to the center of the image. You saw that it just flashed green. Control V. See how that's snapping green? It's trying to snap to our guides as we're moving around. I'm going to try and scale this. If I hold Shift, it'll do it at a regular interval. If I hold Alt, it'll do it about the center. And then I can grab that smart guide again. I can move that up. So I could print this out, and then if I wanted to go through, once I use the laser cutter, I could actually laser cut this. Control Alt 3 to show. Please use a different font than this. But you could essentially set this up, and then we can increase the spacing so we can start to fill and plan the composition a little bit better. All right, and so that's the setup for this this assignment. Alright, and then for the next, you guys can just watch the next video and it'll show you how to use the laser cutter. Alright.